NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEBCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Happy Thursday, our last show from the studio for the week. We're with you from now until 4 o'clock. I'm Austin Norman. To my left, 9-year NBA vet, Husker Hall of Famer, guy whose city we're going to tomorrow, Erick Strickland. How you feeling, Stricky?
Good, my boy. What's going on with you?
There's a lot we have to get to today, including the NBA Finals. That'll be the focus of Hour 1. Some interesting comments from Nebraska basketball head coach Fred Hoiberg we'll get to in Hour 2. And then, Husker fans, put your football caps on, and we want to know the best Husker football running back of the 2000s. That's what we'll get to at 3:30. We'll have a good conversation on that. 402-464-5685. Give us your thoughts on anything we're talking about here throughout the show. We do want to thank NEBCO for sponsoring the show. NEBCO's operations span the state of Nebraska and supply the construction industry with the materials needed to construct buildings, streets, and highways. NEBCO has been in business since 1908. It's a fourth-generation family-owned and operated business with over 1,200 employees and 26 companies throughout Nebraska. The reason we're stream-only today, we're carrying the Royals game. We are your home for the Royals here in Lincoln. Good guys up 2-0 on the Yanks here in the top of the 6th inning. My guess is we will be stream-only all show, and then Old School will be back over on the 93.7 airwaves officially. All right, Stricky, let's spend this first hour on the NBA Finals, this first segment, specifically on Boston. We'll get to a lot of the Maverick stuff, some comments from Brian Windhorst about Luka Doncic in segment number 2. But here's Boston on the verge of winning its first final since 2008. Doc Rivers was the head coach. Boston got to the 2022 finals, have been to the conference finals quite a few times. But to me, it's the persistence of Boston, of staying the course, that is really the story right now. You think about them getting Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown at number 3 overall in the back-to-back years in the draft. They've really built around those guys with different supporting pieces around them. At one point, it was Kyrie Irving, as we know. Marcus Smart for a while. Robert Williams III was a piece. They trade for Malcolm Brogdon. Sixth man of the year, but doesn't, move the needle necessarily. Grant Williams was a pest and supposed to be a key part of that team for a while. But really, I think the piece that has fit best, the longest for Boston, has been Al Horford, kind of a steadying presence for them. Kristaps Porzingis they add this year. But Strick, I think a lot of teams would have blown up the Tatum-Brown duo when Jaylen Brown got expensive, or, after a couple of years of conflict and tumult. I think we need to credit those two guys for sticking the course and learning how to work together. And really Boston too. It's been a long road for them the last 7 or 8 years to finally get back to the doorstep of an NBA title. But I think the persistence is maybe the dedication, the consistency of Boston in drafting well, and then just trying to find the right support pieces and not panicking. I think that's kind of an underrated storyline when it comes to the Celtics being up 3-0 right now.
Yeah, I can't deny you on that, Austin. I think that is definitely something to weigh, because you're right. As I just think around the landscape of the NBA, one of the things that you have had is a lot of players that overstayed. Your Dame Lillards, those types that stayed a little too long in some places and probably should have made a move. You have that in some instances. You don't have that in LeBron's case for the most part. He sees the writing on the wall and he's bouncing. But I also think organizations do the same, right?
Yes.
One probably you could look at, did Cleveland stay too long? With early, like right after the Kyrie situation with, Love or did, the mad scientist type of stuff that like the Lakers have done with bringing in, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Nash, you got those types of things that happen. And then there's teams that just make the right call. And you can say OKC's made the right call. You can even say Dallas made the right call because they took a lot of backlash for the Kyrie Irving situation. But you definitely were starting to have questions about Boston. And I think you're right, Austin. I think that's one thing that you have to give them a clap and credit for, is being able to stick and stay when Boston's very fickle and they can ride you pretty tough. And I think this was a year to answer the bell. If they didn't, you might have had some heavy rumblings. But I will say that I give a lot of credit because I personally think a lot of this has to do with Jaylen Brown and his willingness
MVP right now,
to
right?
go into the yeah. I mean, he's more efficient. He's not going to take too many bad shots. They're going to be on balance for the most part, other than maybe in the paint stuff. But he's doing a little bit of everything, and he's playing D. You know, they all are, but. Yeah. I think his overall game, but his ability to remove the advantage that other teams, or to remove the weakness that he had that was very, loud in scouting reports. And this is what we're going to do. And you saw people doing it and you saw it working. You know what I mean? He's eliminated that. Like, they're going to have to come up with something new. And that's what I really want to give him credit for.
Well, let's talk about Jaylen Brown here a little bit. I mean, some of the best numbers of his career. He's really taken on the lead scorer role in the postseason. I still think Tatum is maybe the most important player on that team. It seems like the franchise has built around him. But Tatum's been willing to distribute. He's been willing to be patient, has taken a lot of tough shots that maybe he doesn't need to. But Jaylen Brown's been there to pick him up. In the 2022 finals, Jaylen Brown wasn't, because of that scouting report, because the Warriors said, go left, we dare you. You're going to dribble it off your knee. You're going to dribble it off your foot. You're not going to be able to make that pass with your left hand. Beat us going left. Okay. He wasn't able to do it. But again, with the patience, the persistence, they give Jaylen Brown a $300 million contract with this glaring deficiency. It's been a lot of internal development for those two guys. Yes, Boston went and got some good role players to stick around them. But the fact that Jaylen Brown has been the best player in this finals, that's another huge point of vindication for Boston.
No doubt. And the lessons, are we still just talking Boston, right?
Yeah, let's hit Boston now.
Overall?
Let's hit Boston now. We'll do Dallas next segment.
I'm just going to make an overall statement, because Austin, I'm not mad at Dallas. You just think about it, right? This is really the first year that this Dallas team has really been able to work together on top. We all know how it is when you receive a major contributor that comes into your squad by way of trade halfway through the year.
With his own baggage.
Right? So they've been able to make it work to their benefit. Getting through the Western Conference was huge, but I will say that they were the beneficiary of having a little bit more veteran leadership over a younger team that didn't, as to why they got there. They were, the matchup of playing against Minnesota for them worked.
Yeah.
That's really what it was. If they played Denver, I think we're talking about a different thing. Okay. Denver's mistake was, I don't know if maybe it was injury. I don't know. Maybe it was something, but Minnesota played out of their tail. Good for them. But Boston has went through the rigmarole. They've went through the washer and dryer. They went through the washing machine. They went through, they went through the gauntlet. They were on the gulag. I mean, they've been to every freaking hardship that you can think about, and they kept their head up. I don't even really see for the most part, that they were complaining. They weren't complainers. They just really acknowledged we need to get better. That's maturity.
Mm-hmm.
And they're showing maturity right now.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the culmination of that. This doesn't have anything to do with it. Look, 3-0 for a reason. They've been here, and their younger guys are stepping up and playing well for them because I think the coach is giving them confidence to do so.
You mentioned maturity. I think that's a key part to hit on here, but look at the makeup of this team. Let's start with the two guys that they've built around, Tatum and Brown. Tatum has taken that back seat. He's learned how to become a better playmaker. He hasn't made it all about him. That's maturity. Jaylen Brown has always been thought of as a well-spoken guy, connected, in tune. Okay, there's that. Al Horford, one of the most respected guys in the league, period. Drew Holiday, quiet, mature, plays his role. Derek White,
they even looked at him a little bit worse in Milwaukee than they are now. They're looking at him whole differently now. The way he's playing. Okay, go ahead.
Porzingis has gotten
those
more
first
mature.
2 games. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the top 6 guys in the rotation.
Yeah.
Then you can sprinkle in, Sam Hauser when needed, Peyton Pritchard for a break. Luke Cornett's been around the block for whatever that's worth. But Boston plays as a team like all their guys are individually. Not all about them, not all about their numbers. A lot of calm, cool, collected guys, right? Not a lot of high-powered, high-intensity emotions in a negative sense. They'll celebrate each other. They'll be happy. This is an even-keel team that sometimes to its detriment plays too even-keel, but it's worked for a 3-0 series lead so far.
Let me ask you a question. You're right. Let me ask you a question, though. When you think about a few things, one being this, when you look at a team that seems to have freedom, free flow, and an understanding that if I cut, if I'm in the right place, if I'm doing my job, it's going to find me. You look on the other side, there's a constant search, look, find, not the goal, but the main pillars. And it's costing them. Because tell me this. Now here's the question. You're the shooting coach in your mind. But tell me this. And Sauter Heyman text down, you can chime in too, 402-464-5685. Listen. Is it easier to shoot by my first explanation, or is it harder to shoot when you know that it's really only coming to me because I'm the last option? Like your model changes from just stroking to I gotta hit this. You know what I'm saying? How do you shoot better?
Definitely the first one, because you're involved in the action, you're touching the ball, you're in that rhythm. It's hard to shoot cold, right? Whether you're coming off the bench or just standing in the corner. I would say the role for a guy like PJ Washington, the role for a Derek Jones Jr., even a Davis Bertans to some degree when he was there for Dallas after they shipped him out, the role was maybe simplified beyond what it would be in Boston, but it's also higher pressure.
Yeah.
Because you have one job, and if you don't do that one job, the one guy whose job it is, the two guys whose jobs it is to get you the ball might be less likely to pass you the ball.
Yeah.
If you miss on your first 1, 2, 3 opportunities, they'll say, oh yeah, we believe in them. Their words will say one thing, their actions will say another. It is so much, it's simpler and easier to be involved in the game in Boston's setting and the way Boston plays. And I think the way Joe Mazzulla has built that offense, 5 out, democratic, whoever's open shoots it, fits that team's personality.
Yeah.
I think the way Jason Kidd has built Dallas's offense, your turn, my turn, Luka, Kyrie, and they've done a better job of balancing it out so it doesn't always get stagnant. Fits Luka and Kyrie's personalities. The role players haven't stepped up, and it's harder to be a role player in that system because of maybe the possession-to-possession pressure of, one, not knowing when you'll get the ball, and 2, when I do get it, you're not thinking, oh, I'm just going to catch and shoot. It's, oh, I can't miss, not, oh, I'm going to make.
That's what I said, basically. Yes. And it's so hard. And one of the things that you're seeing because of the bringing this Dallas Mavericks team together late, they're blessed to have had 2 of the best scoring combos in a long time.
Mhm.
Let's just say that. Probably in the playoffs in a while,
Mhm.
a long time. Because even with Michael Jordan and Pippen, they didn't have this kind of scoring ratio. It's very rare to have this kind of scoring ratio, but it has happened. Kobe, Shaq,
Mhm.
the likes of them.
Mhm.
But you've gotta see that the heightened tensions of the moment. One of the things I've always said that we noticed about Nebraska is they revert back to what's familiar.
Right. Mhm. Mhm.
So because you're in this championship moment, all the stuff that you did to get you there, they're not doing as much anymore.
Yeah.
They're taking worse shots, and the plays that Luka used to make are bailouts now, as opposed to this is the right play. I trust you, and I'm passing to you because I trust you. That's what Boston has,
Mhm.
and that's accumulated over time. They had to build that because one of the things I can say you would have seen 3-4 years ago, Tatum taking tough ones, Jalen's taking tough ones. They're just not doing that. They've learned, they've grown, and they've matured, and this is why you're seeing championship-style basketball.
Well, and even a guy like Drew Holiday or Derek White or Porzingis, even though he's out, those guys are so much more equipped offensively than Grant Williams was, than Malcolm Brogdon was, right? Brogdon, I think, was just Tatum light. It was a little redundant. He didn't really add anything new to the mix that Tatum didn't do. The guys Boston have in place are so much better at their role and what they're being asked to do. Let's wrap up the Boston side of things with this, Strick. The Celtics this year are 79-20, including the playoffs. Win one more game, that's an 80% winning percentage. That's going to be among the best of all times. They're, I think 21-7, 22-7 on the road in the playoffs. Okay, let's talk about that, because yes, Boston has had an easy road this year, but it's the payoff for the last 6 or 7 years, which is why I'm not necessarily going to ding them for it, because they've put in the hard work ahead of time. They're taking advantage of their road now. It's hard for me. We did that comparison last week, 2 weeks ago, between the other teams that started 6-0 on the road in the playoffs. The 99 Spurs, the 01 Lakers, one of the Bulls teams, and then the 2017 Warriors. I don't take Boston over any of those teams. The numbers tell you they should be in the conversation as one of the best teams of all time.
Yeah.
Boston is having one of the greatest seasons of all time. The reason that I don't think they belong in the best teams of all time conversation is because now in 2 of the 3 games, they've almost blown a 30-point lead.
Yeah.
Right? Boston coasts sometimes. They've let Dallas back into these games.
Yeah.
Which goes to what I said before the series even started of, it wouldn't shock me if Boston does what Dallas did to Minnesota and gets out to a big lead in the series, but the games might not, be blowouts. The series might be, the games might not be. Boston has gone on big runs in these games, but so has Dallas. That's why I think it's hard for me to take Boston entirely seriously as a best team of all time, because they haven't, kicked the door down and said, we're dominating this series.
Right.
They're winning the game.
Right.
But Boston hasn't exactly dominated the series. They've left the door open for Dallas. I would just say the Mavs haven't been able to take advantage.
That's a fact. Stretches, and then we're going to talk about it. And so I'm going to refrain from it, but yes, they haven't taken advantage when time presented for them to do so.
Let's get into that. Why hasn't Dallas taken advantage? How have they not taken advantage? The conversation's going to center around one guy. Fair or not, Luka Doncic. What did Brian Windhorst have to say about Luka Doncic and his approach and his attitude? We'll get to that. We'll talk about how the Mavs are down 3-0. The series isn't over, but it's essentially over. The next steps for Dallas. Are they able to salvage a game? We'll have the Mavericks side of the NBA Finals conversation next year during On the Block.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Bagels & Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in June. Try any of their delicious breakfast burritos or sandwiches for a great summer breakfast with the family. And don't forget, 10% of all caramel latte sales in June go to the Casa for Lincoln County. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Cheetos on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Bagels & Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in June. Try any of their delicious breakfast burritos or sandwiches for a great summer breakfast with the family. And don't forget, 10% of all caramel latte sales in June go to the Casa for Lincoln County. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
The Testicle Festival, Saturday, June 15th at Round the Bend Steakhouse off I-80, exit 426. Swing out 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. for some testicle fun. Free admission for military personnel.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry, here to drop some knowledge bombs on how to wow your woman. Size matters, but not the way you're thinking, guys. Make sure you know her ring size before you even think about popping the question. If you aren't a surprise kind of guy, ask her. I bet she knows her size. If you are a surprise kind of guy, bring in a piece and we can get close to the right size. We will make it perfect for her when the time is right. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install them and forget them outfit, long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. robotics club, and space club, and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you or someone you love struggling with substance use? The Bridge Behavioral Health in Lincoln offers outpatient therapy for those 19 and over. The Bridge is conveniently located in the South Haymarket and near city bus lines. With payment options through insurance and a sliding fee scale, services are available for any adult 19 and over seeking help. Call 402-477-3951 to learn more or schedule your appointment today. The Bridge Behavioral Health is a local substance use treatment facility offering hope and a solid foundation for recovery through substance use treatment and behavioral health interventions.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. We just got done talking about the Boston Celtics side of the NBA Finals. A lot to get to when we get to the Dallas Mavericks side of things. Before we get into the Dallas side of things, the way we're going to kick off this conversation is with some comments from Brian Windhorst, Omaha's finest. He was on ESPN last night. Here's what Brian Windhorst had to say regarding the Dallas Mavericks and specifically their headlining star, Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect that Luka fell onto the ground there in an unacceptable position to put himself in with 4 minutes left with 5 fouls, and then immediately looks at the bench and says, "You better bleeping challenge it," as if it's the bench's fault that he just made a terrible play. I'm standing here in the Mavericks tunnel. Over there is the Celtics tunnel. That's where the winners are. If Luka's ever going to be a winner coming out of this tunnel here, he is going to have to use what's happened in this finals as a learning experience. His defensive performance is unacceptable. He is a hole on the court. The Celtics are attacking him. They are ahead in this series because they've attacked him defensively. And you've got a situation here where Luka is complaining about the officiating. They have begged him. They have talked with him. They have pleaded with him. He is costing his team because of how he treats the officials. He's a brilliant player. He does so many things well. They are here because of how he did. His performance in this game is unacceptable and the reason why the Mavericks are not going to win. He's got to get over this. And the fact that he came out after the game and blamed the officials showed me he's nowhere close yet. So maybe over the summer, somebody will get to him because nobody with the Mavericks or anybody else in his life has. And that's where the Mavericks are at this point. They're never going to get to this tunnel with the trophy if he doesn't improve those aspects of his game.
Stricky, what do you think?
This is Luka Doncic. This is Luka Doncic. Doncic's. Dang, that's a tough one to rattle that one off the tongue. This is his Dirk Nowitzki 2008. Six? No, 8. They lost in 6. They lost
the finals in 06.
They lost in the finals.
Then when they got ejected as the one?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
The 6 moment, that in itself, listen, I can attest it was horrendous refereeing. Like it was so bad. Like I felt bad for them because it was like nothing they can do. But this is his 08 moment.
Okay.
Right? But it's not by the way that it's being done, but he's going to have to learn from it the way that Dirk did. And as Windhorst just said, you can tell he's not learning. And who is in there that's going to be able to have a conversation with him? If I'm Jason Kidd, I probably don't want to. Because you want to, you don't want him to turn. So you send somebody respectful.
Gotcha.
I would send maybe a Sham God to maybe just really break it down to him. Maybe Nico. Maybe Mike Finley. Maybe even Dirk. More so Dirk. You know, because he's still affiliated with the organization. I'd probably send Dirk to tell testimony and give a breakdown as to what he had to endure in a different way, but to show all of his weaknesses, his hindrances, and what he's doing to affect the team in a negative way, to have them to come up losing right now. They're not going to win this because his headspace is so lost and gone in the things that don't matter. And playoff basketball at the highest levels are based on adjustments. Boston hasn't really had to make adjustments because the only adjustment they've really had to make is now not having Porzingis, and they're having to play a little bit better defense, but they're still playing the same style, switch. And they're letting Hauser and Pritchard, and they're doing a good job for the most part. Kyrie hit tough shots last night. Luka also struggled, but from three. And it's those struggles, and it's every shot you're taking is tough. But on the other end, you have some tough ones, but Luka, a lot of it, turning your head, ball watching, and letting one of the best players on their team face cut you to the basket for a layup. That's horrible in every facet, And so I totally concur with what Windhurst said.
The good part about it for Dallas is that he's only 25 years old. He's been in the NBA for 6 years. I mean, it seems like he's been around for a long time. He came over as a prodigy from Europe. But what he got away with.
Pause. Can I just, I like where you at. Can I just 1 second? Man, I hate that I had to cut you off because I know you was about to dig, but I know you was about to set the table for something. What you just said about he came from Europe with what?
He was a prodigy.
Prodigies like Liberace or Beethoven,
Picasso.
When they get set in their mind, it's tough. To Michael Jackson, those type of, when they have some set, roll with it a lot of the times. But it's a flop waiting to happen if you continue to just roll with something that ain't hitting. Because you get so stuck on success that you've had over the course of your career in life, and no one's really been able to tell you nothing because you've been winning since you was a baby, like since you was a 15-year-old kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Is Johnny Manziel similar?
No.
Just at a higher level? Like, I mean, not when he was young, but the success, the notoriety, all of the, TV, the glitz, the glam, you step into a place, everybody knows your name, and then you throwing the money sign and they throwing it back at you. I'm not saying it's him, but I'm saying the similarity of having that success. There's a lot of times an imminent fall, and it's how you handle that fall with humility. That's where the difference is with Boston, because Tatum and those guys were seething inside with rage, anger, frustration, didn't feel they maybe got the best of the draws or fouls as well, but they've handled it differently over the course of that time. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. That's where I wanted to go.
Yeah, I see where you're going, and this is where I'm going to throw Russell Westbrook's name into this conversation here.
Okay.
I think Luke is a more well-rounded player than Russell Westbrook, but it took until this year for Russ to buy into a reduced role. We talked about it with the ego, right? He had been the engine. He had been the reason for Oklahoma City's success. He'd gotten so used to it. In his mind, this is what I do. This is who I am.
Yeah.
If Luka wanted to be about him, wanted to be about his show, him and Kyrie, right? They have the ball in their hands the whole time. Okay, that's fine. If that's the way that he wants to play, he's good enough at it in the regular season and did it in the postseason against the NBA's best defense in Minnesota to say, okay, this is workable. But then he has to prove to his teammates that it's going to work. He has to be the hardest worker on the team. If he's going to tell his teammates they can't miss when he gives them the ball, he has to prove he's doing everything in his power to get them the ball, that he's doing everything in his power to get better. He has to have those conversations with Dirk, right? Dirk had that moment in 2008, like you said. Rest in peace, Kobe had that moment with the air ball against the Jazz.
With the air ball against the Jazz,
right?
That's facts.
Jordan got beat up by the Pistons.
Facts.
For a long time, right? Luka is not alone in having to grow up, mature, and find a way around it. It's his first finals appearance. He's 25 years old. He's not in his prime yet. But like we talked about yesterday with Jason Tatum, for as great as Luka Doncic is, there's another gear. And the fact that everyone can see there's another level makes it that much more frustrating when you see him foul bait 2 cheap fouls out of his 6, he's out of the game. He's the most important player for them offensively. That's where it gets frustrating. The complaining to the refs. Here's the thing. The game's called differently in the postseason. It's not the regular season anymore. Toughen up. Play basketball. Don't try to get away with the cheap stuff. And I saw this, Strick, and I just think it's so illustrative of how close yet how far the Mavericks are. Luka especially. Zach Cram with the Ringer said, I get that Luka's been unengaged on defense, like you said, getting face cut, flopping, trying to foul bait, whatever. But it's also weird that everyone is blaming him for this outcome when Boston's a great team. And with Luka on the court, 118 minutes, Boston is only +4. With Luka off the court, the Celtics are +28 in 26 minutes. Despite the flaws, despite everything we're talking about, when Luka's on the court, Dallas is right there with a Boston team that we said up and down looks better, that looked more the part throughout the regular season. Luka doesn't have to do much. He just has to do a couple things and do them better.
Look, I don't even want to say he has to do it. He just has to be sound. Just be sound. A guy cuts you, cut him off, make him go. Just the fundamental stuff that I learned in elementary school. No one face cuts you ever.
No.
Why are you not double teaming? No. That's not your game plan. Why are you sitting there like, and this is just frustration because I'm just being a defensive guy. Why are you sitting there like a spectator sitting on the front row with the honey and why are you Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany?
Dang.
On the court though. They're there to spectate. Why are you? There's nothing that's happening with your man that is going on the other side that you should worry about other than checking him. I've seen Drew Holiday come from weak side, get rebounds, extra possessions. All you had to do is put a arm, body, check or something. So I'm just going to say, just be sound. You don't even got to do nothing special. Just be sound. Keep your guy in front. Rotate if he beats you. So right now he's ending up in no man's land on defense. And then it's a turnaround and Boston's too darn good. They're boom, or they're attacking you again to the next. They're not taking the actual first one all the time. Sometimes they are, but they're not all the time. They're waiting. It comes, boom. You're in no man's land. Oh, let me weeble wobble out there with no sit down. He's not going out there sitting down or challenge. He weeble wobbles out there. Whoop, Bayou Classic again. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, boom, corner, bam, 3. That's really how stuff is going for him.
The part I think is also interesting about that is that I don't think there's anyone on the Dallas Mavericks who expects Luka to be a lockdown plus defender.
No.
Like you said, just be solid. Just be in position.
Yeah.
Because if Luka is at least giving effort, if he's not olaying, if he's not, randomly doubling or randomly helping off strong side corner, whatever, if he's at least engaged and doing the best he can, a guy like Daniel Gafford, a guy like PJ Washington, a guy like Derek Lively will understand. But Strick, I can only imagine those guys' frustration. Like, we're not asking a lot of you, but you are putting us in an impossible position. It was already going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Going from Minnesota's 4 out, 1 in with a guy in the dunker spot to Boston's 5 out. Let's give an everyone fits all year. It was always going to be challenging. But now not only are we at a schematic disadvantage, we're at a numbers disadvantage. That's impossible. That is an easy way for resentment and talking behind his back to grow.
Yeah.
It's his first finals appearance. I don't want to write him off because we've seen what he's capable of. But he's got to change it this offseason. It's not going to be perfect next year, but if Luka Doncic wants to, achieve what he says he wants to in winning a title, it's got to start this offseason.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely got to start. It's important. I know it's going to hurt, but they'll get a full offseason together. Pretty much the core of that group will be back again. Maybe some of their younger guys will step up and be better, but the good thing is the core of that group should be back. And they should run it back. And look, it's not going to get any tougher out there west. So you're going to have to grow and get better because I promise you every other team is. And guess what? OKC got learned and got Minnesota got experience, learned, and got. So if you come back with the same old, it's a wrap.
Enjoy 5th place again.
It's a wrap. And guess what? Now they got you on tape. They already knew, but now now you've got to show and prove even the more that you're not a defensive liability to everybody's scouting report. So you made it harder for yourself. I think it was starting to wane a little bit because he showed, some promise against Minnesota. I mean, sometimes his handle on Ant and other guys was solid. But, again, I don't know if he's injured. They said he is getting some shots to mitigate some pain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to blame that on that because you're out there. If you're out there, you either perform or go sit down because one way or another, you're not helping the team. You're hurting them if ultimately you can't give both sides of the ball.
Right. They play 2 completely different styles, but Steph might be another guy to talk to. The Warriors aren't going to give away any state secrets.
Yeah.
Right. But think about how Cleveland targeted Steph relentlessly for 4 straight years. They never really stopped doing it, but Steph held up just often enough to make it not worth it and let the incremental offensive advantages add up over the course of the series.
Fact.
That's what Luka has to do. Just be okay a few extra times.
He said it. Don't blame me. As who said that? Mace. He didn't say it in a nice way, but he said, "Don't blame me. I'm here to tell the truth." And we're gonna have WTF. We talk facts tonight. So let's go.
6:00 right here.
6-7.
93.7 the ticket.
The Blur tomorrow, my boy.
Yes, sir.
We'll be there.
Friday.
Come
Monday,
through.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Come through. Holla
We
at
be
your
there.
boys.
10th
Wait.
and Cass.
Yeah.
Let's go to break. Let's talk some Husker hoops. Fred Hoiberg had some interesting comments. We'll go over the roster now that it appears to be set. We'll talk through what Fred Hoiberg had to say, what we think it means for the team moving forward. This is On the Block. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland on 93.7 The Ticket.
Play ball! Ready to unleash the fun with Salt Dogs Baseball? Join us at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed games running through August. Stay ahead of the game by visiting saltdogs.com for updates on exciting promotions, giveaways, and events happening each week. Experience a change-up from your typical family night, or make it a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers.
Strike 3, you're out.
Don't miss the fun happening all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Ironhide Construction is a Nebraska-based general contracting and steel construction firm. Their expert team is experienced in building innovative construction solutions across several industries. While they were previously known for their extensive experience in steel erection and metal buildings, they've continued to evolve over the last several years into a full-service general contracting firm. They take pride in their commitment to quality, cutting-edge technology, and having a passion for what they do. For more information about their services or to discuss an upcoming project, visit www.ironhideconstruction.com or call 402-420-4961.
Hello, this is Mary Pat Waite. I've had the privilege of working with Lincoln families as their realtor for more than 31 years, and I'm so proud to be associated with MP Dodge Real Estate. For me, your transaction is unique in its own way. My experience allows me to bring you trusted care and a really great outcome. My NP Dodge family shares the same client focus.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Take your internet service to new levels with Allo, your award-winning internet provider across our fiber hoods. Allo isn't just about the fastest internet available. It's about connecting you to your world, work, and play seamlessly. Our award-winning service ensures affordable, secure, and reliable connectivity, setting us apart. Ready to transform your internet experience? Experience the fiber difference today. Sign up now at allofiber.com. Allo.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first.
That sounds like a match made in heaven.
Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
Soulful Casino in Havelock is a family-owned business, providing incredible food and service that'll have you craving more with every bite. Soulful Casino offers everything from pulled pork to fried chicken, catfish, ribs, and even quesadillas. You want sides? They've got them. From fries, green beans and baked beans, to collard greens, potato salad, and sweet dill corn. Stop by for lunch as they have specials Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. That's Soulful Casino, located in Havelock, where every bite you take fills the soul.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
By now, most of you know how important the Honda of Lincoln sales and service team are to the Lincoln market. Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear from Honda of Lincoln to tell you about the great news they just received. Andy, please tell us all about it.
Each year, the Lincoln Journal-Star has an award program called the Lincoln Choice Award, where the customers in Lincoln get to choose the best places to do business. Great pleasure, I get to announce that Honda of Lincoln has won the award for buying new cars, used cars, automotive repair, and even oil changes.
That is amazing, Andy. Any more good news?
Yes, there is, Charlie. We now have more than 100 new Hondas in stock, with hundreds on the way, and a huge selection of all makes and models on our pre-owned lot.
Incredible. Maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Although we can't control the air we breathe outside our home, we can make a healthy difference inside. And all it takes is a call to Bryant. With healthy air options, Bryant can help you eliminate allergens, odors, and harmful chemicals, all while controlling indoor humidity levels at the same time. If it's time for a breath of fresh air inside, it's time to call Bryant. Breathe easy, breathe healthy. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by Nebco. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome back to On the Block. Royals and Yankees in the 8th inning. Yankees tied it up at 2. That's on the airwaves right now. Old School should be back for the whole show on 93.7 The Ticket. Thanks to Starter Heyman Jewelers, though, for keeping us on the air. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter right now, as well as Allo Channel 961. Appreciate those great sponsors. 402-464-5685. We want you to be a part of the conversation. The first question of the hour is, who's going to lead Nebraska men's basketball in scoring this next year? Who's it going to be? I think there's a pretty obvious choice, or there's some under-the-radar ones. We'll get to that and more. Let's bring in Erick Strickland, Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet. Stricky, summer workouts just started for Nebraska, had their first one yesterday. Fred Hoiberg had a lot to say, but let's just start with this. Generally speaking, in college basketball, what do summer workouts entail?
Well, it'll be some discussions about roles. It'll be talking about things that were deficient, getting an understanding on what you need to do, talking individually about maybe some goals that you would like to work towards, getting your condition, getting them lungs right, getting some bump, some grind. So working on things, because that's where the work's done. Summer is when areas or deficiencies in your game can increase and get better. So, for example, I would say like Jaylen Brown, because we just talked about him. That's the only reason I'm bringing him up. Jaylen Brown looked at pundits, what they said, talked to coach, watched film, then got with whoever his trainer is, and they worked on ball handling. I bet before he even took shots, he was heavy on some ball handling drill, like before he even got a basket to the rim. Working on weak side finishes, just really honing on the left side of things with his hand. Because you see what Kyrie is. He's by far the best finisher with offhand in the league right now, right? So that's what you do. You get your legs, you get your bump, you work on those things that you wanted to add, because people are going to pick up on your counters. If you're a right drive to crossover, they're on it. Scouting reports are on you. If you're a hesitation between the leg and go guy, they're on you. So you want to work on counters. So now you're going to work on one or two counters to the things that you do well. So if you're a hesitation go, then there's a cross to it, because they're going to think you're going strong to the left. There's a cross. If you're a hesitation go guy, it's a hesitation go spin. So you're going to work on a couple of just real strong counters with something to work off that spin to a step off to a shot fake. Because they're expecting you to spin, step off, shoot, because that's what you've been doing. So there's just little things that you just start like building blocks, like Legos. You just start building on, and then you have a nice little repertoire to work off of. Let's start with Bryce Williams. What he's got. What does he got to add? Bryce has got to get more lowered, so he needs to really work on leg strength, I think. Get lower to the ground. He plays kind of more in an upright, balls high on dribbles. Like, if I was him, I would time his dribbles and I'd shoot. I just take a shot and just get, because it'll be off his timing. So he wants to kind of keep his dribbles low, real strong in the paint with post game. I would be working on, because you want to take advantage of his size and abilities there, and coming off catch and shoot stuff, because you want the point guards that are on that team to be able to run it. If I'm him, I'm just trying to do my best not to have to handle the ball as much as I did last year. What about Juwan? Is he a guy that needs to add another element to his game, or he just have to get more consistent at what he already did last year? He's streaky. So definitely, if I'm him, I'm working, the kind of at elbow extended just above to the three, to the corner, all shots, shot fakes to runners, shot fakes to hard finishes, post game. And like you said, just get better at the areas and finishing in transition. I think he's better than that. I don't think he did it as well as I would have liked to him. When he gets on one-on-one situations to be able to step through and finish really strong.
Okay, last one for this conversation. Sam Hoiberg, is he a consistency guy or is he an ad guy?
I think things are going to start catching up with Sam because he's doing the same thing. Love his defensive intensity. Love the way that, he gets out there. He's not going to bow down to anybody. He's going to fight. I love the scrappiness, but he's got to be more consistent. He's got to be a knockdown shooter. Like if he gets any types of looks, which he should be hitting. If he takes 6 threes, he should be hitting 4.
He's got to be 38% plus spot up shooter.
No question. Like he's missed some good looks that he should not be missing.
2 years ago, he hit him. Last year, not as much.
Yeah.
On the text line, Bender said, excited to see Alec in a graduate coaching position. We didn't get to this news, so it's Josiah Alec and then Tristan Simpson, both Lincoln North Star guys. Stricky, what do you make of Josiah Alec back as a graduate assistant for Nebraska men's basketball?
Well, it's good to have somebody that came from part of the success of the program. He knows the guys. He's going to root for them. He's going to help them. He's going to be able to still use his body at times in drills or in different things to help with their big man development. He's going to be able to take what he learned to be able to, in the locker room, speak with some of those guys and have those types of discussions. I think he's going to be solid. I don't know too much about the other gentleman.
Tristan Simpson. He's a guard, played at Lincoln North Star as well.
He had a pretty good career. I looked at his numbers, not too bad. I mean, he had a pretty good career. But good for them. They're Nebraska kids. They're here in Lincoln. They, so they understand the culture. They'll be able to share that with Alec being present. Will also be able to share that, his experience of being here and now what it looks like after.
Let's start with the big men here. Fred Hoiberg mentioned Braxton Mia, who isn't on campus yet. He's at Washington. They have a quarters system instead of the semester system, so he'll be here in a little bit. But last offseason straight, Keisei Tominaga and Rink Mass played internationally. Berkay Boyukdengel is also playing internationally for Team Turkey. He won't join Nebraska until August. I'm curious to see when he gets to campus what his role is. Fred Hoiberg said he measured in as even bigger than Rink Mass. And Rink is a legit 6'9", 240 kind of guy. If Boyukdengel is that with maybe a little bit more handle, maybe better on the perimeter because he's skinnier, I think, than Rink is. I'm going to be curious to see how Nebraska uses a guy like him, but also Mia. Fred Hoiberg said he's never coached a guy with his skill set. The timing, the disruption at the rim, and the ability to catch lobs. You talk about Fred Hoiberg adapting his system, right? From Derek Walker to Rink Mass. We know Rink's out this year. I'm curious to see how Fred Hoiberg uses a big man he's never coached before, in his own words.
I don't even need to answer that. Me too. I think all the listeners, them too. But yeah, I think Berkay. I'm not even gonna yet.
Boyukdengel.
Yeah. Boyukdengel.
Nailed it. Berkay Boyukdengel. Way to go, Stricky.
It was a tough one. I looked at the spelling and it was tough. I'm not even gonna downplay the fact that his numbers are the way that they are. Because you can be in a system and the system is just not a fit for you.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good sell, and Nebraska's gonna have to do things like this, take flyers at times on guys that could have some tremendous upside by way of coaching or the style of play we're going to play. But that's one thing Nebraska hasn't had in you could probably even go back to my time. Vincent, yeah, we haven't had a guy with that type of rim protection skill set in that long of time.
Yeah.
And to have it, with the style of defense that they play, force baseline, a lot of help, they do a great job of that. But to now have a rim guy in there, like, you don't have to do it to trap now. You could do it to go try to finish. I'm going to be there and everybody fan out and get somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's either going to be a make or a miss.
Yeah, and I like the even just the game theory behind adding a guy like him, because they force baseline into that. They funnel to the big man right now with the true rim protector. Either what it's going to do is force opponents to take challenge shots at the rim against length and athleticism, or it's going to force them into the mid-range, which isn't maybe an underused part of college basketball like you talked about last off season. But if Nebraska is going to continue shooting its same rate of three-pointers, number one, the percentage has to improve offensively. But I think that works even in Nebraska's favor to play the math. Let other teams take tough mid-range shots against length challenging or a guy coming from behind that you have to get it off in front of. On the other side, you're taking, quote unquote, more efficient shots with lobs at the rim and then, more spot up 3-pointers. It feels kind of Dallas-ish to me without a Luka.
This is the analytics, and that's well stated in the analytics. Austin,
Stricky.
A lot of the big men left in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
You if you can figure this out, you might be able to do something. That's all I'm gonna say.
To your point, Edey, draft. Hawkins,
where?
Probably going to Kansas State. Cliff Amori, gone. Minnesota. Khalil Ware, gone. They did add Omar Ballo. No, he's more a traditional guy, but I think Ware is probably a more well-rounded player. Curious to see how that works out for Indiana. Dawson Garcia doesn't scare you necessarily from Minnesota. Michigan State's big men weren't good last year. Michigan's big men weren't good last year. They added a couple guys that I'm interested to track, but Nebraska might have the best rim protector in the conference right now. Andrew Morgan, interesting at the 4. Josiah Alec getting with Justin Bolus, the preferred walk-on from Southeast Community College, will be worth watching. But we have this on the text line, Strick, from Ellis in Illinois. First of all, Ellis, hope your drive is going well. Either I hope you're texting or one of your sons is texting. Stop by Blur, say hi once you get to Omaha tomorrow. But Ellis says this, Strick, we seem to have 9 or 10 guys, Nebraska basketball, that could be in the rotation, but teams usually settle around 8. How do you see that working out? Because to me, the question is Bryce Williams a 2 or a 3 in more lineups? Because Ulis is eligible. Fred Hoiberg said he's going to be a part of the plans. And Nebraska went and got a Raleigh Worcester out of Utah, which tells me they want Bryce to be a secondary ball handler, not the primary point guard. But is Bryce bested at 2? Is he bested at 3 with the guys Nebraska has on the roster? And how does that work out with the rest of the guys?
I think you go with Worcester, Ulis, Bryce, with
Griffiths?
No, with my guy backing up from coming in.
Oh, Janowski?
Janowski.
Janowski at the 2?
Janowski at 2.
Bryce 3. Juwan 4.
No.
Oh.
I like Bryce 3. Not Bryce, but I like Bryce 2.
Oh.
I like Gary 3.
Okay.
Start with the big fella just to see how it's going to go with the rim protection. And then I could even see with rim protection, maybe Griffiths at the 4. Well, you know what? Guarding wise.
Yeah.
I see where you're saying. Yeah. Griffiths 3, then Juwan maybe guard a 4. Because he's a little bit bigger, stronger guy.
Yeah.
But we forgot about Essentian.
I know. Yeah.
They've got 9 guys
that
they could easily play, but it's going to be tough. Somebody's not going to be happy.
The point guard conversation will come down to Worcester, Ulis, who starts one. You can't play both those guys together. No. Neither one of them's a good enough shooter. Their skill sets are similar-ish body
You might
types.
even be able to move Bryce in certain situations then.
Yeah.
Just to give you more. I think the game is going to dictate what that looks like, how the game is going.
Yeah. And that's where I think we're going to run into the same questions with Nebraska basketball next year as we did last year. I don't know if Nebraska is going to be able to set the terms of engagement necessarily. I think Nebraska is going to be a counterpunch team. What is your best lineup? What can we throw out there to counter it, right? You look at Illinois last year with Shannon Jr., who's in the midst of his trial right now, and Coleman Hawkins in the way that they spread the floor and played 5 out. Illinois was a punch first, swing first team. I think Nebraska and Fred Hoiberg's style is much more reactive, right? They're going to kind of scope you out, see what your lineup is, what you want to do, and then boom, they'll hit you with their lineup that they think either, best matches it or best counters it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you in that there will be times Bryce Williams plays the 1, probably best at the 2 or the 3. If Nebraska wants to go big, it's Bryce at the 2, Juwan at the 3, Morgan at the 4, Mia at the 5. You could even throw Griffiths in that lineup. Run Bryce at the 1, Griffiths at the 2, Juwan, Morgan, Mia. There are times Nebraska's going to need to go small, which is where you have a point guard, you have a Sejan or Janowski, one of the 2, Bryce at the 3, Juwan at the 4, Andrew Morgan at the 5, or Gavin Griffiths at the 4, and shoot, I mean Juwan at the 5, like Isaiah Roby at the 5, not for long,
just for stretches,
but for spurts, for stretches. The amount of different combinations Nebraska has will be interesting to track, and how Nebraska talks about, I think, really figuring out the point guard and the shooting guard rotation. What Fred Hoiberg says about those guys this summer will tell me a lot about the lineups he feels most comfortable with, at least starting off next year.
Well, one thing you can say for sure, his diplomacy's got to be next level as opposed to last year. Like, there were some discussions that he probably had to make, some buy-ins, but I can tell you that it's got to be even more, because right now you want stability and you want retention. And so your discussions, your conversations are going to have to be real in-depth. There's got to be understanding. And if he doesn't get that, then it's possible that we can have a roller coaster type of season. But if he does, it's possible that they could have a nice season. So, yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch. I think there's a lot to be interested in, a lot to track here throughout summer workouts. We will definitely keep talking some Husker basketball throughout the offseason. But Husker football. Been a while since we had a good Husker football conversation. It is Amir Abdullah's birthday today. Happy birthday, Amir Guapo, on Twitter. Who is the best Nebraska running back of the 2000s? Who played primarily in the 2000s, right? There's some guys maybe that played and had their last year as a senior in 2000. So among running backs that played primarily in the 2000s, who is your pick for the best Nebraska running back? 402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Starter Heyman streams. Leave a comment there as well. Strick and I will have that conversation when we get back as we continue on the block here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Trickle Enterprises in Roca reminds you, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let us honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those serving today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Roca. For all your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. We live in the land of the free, thanks to the brave.
Gaina Trucking is hiring for heavy equipment operators and a heavy equipment mechanic. Working at Gaina Trucking is a great career with excellent team culture, with benefit package including competitive pay based on experience, health, vision, and dental insurance, and a 401k plan. If you're looking for a new job as a heavy equipment operator or mechanic, apply online at GainaTrucking.com or call 402-794-5000. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hey, Nebraska! Register today for the 40th annual Cornhusker State Games, taking place July 11th through the 21st in Lincoln, Omaha, and other Nebraska communities. The Cornhusker State Games features 70 sports for athletes of all ages and abilities. Price increases are approaching, so register early and save. For details, go to cornhuskerstategames.com. Special thanks to Platinum Partner Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, delivering dependable insurance coverage for your auto, farm, and home for over 130 years. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Without a strong IT partner, your business ends up overspending, underperforming, wearing too many hats, complicating your work, and more. Applied Connective Technologies can help with experts in every facet of technology. If it plugs in, powers on, or charges up, they're your people. Imagine being able to call one team for all your technology solutions rather than a village of vendors and providers. For all your needs in managed IT and cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, infrastructure, and audio or video, head to appliedconnective.com to better your business today. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just a professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On the Block. Another half an hour of our show before we turn it over to DP for Old School. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland with you. Still looking for some more responses on the best, not just your favorite, but the best Husker football running back here of the 2000s. Before we get to that, though, Ellis in Illinois follows up and says, I'm going to predict that Nebraska basketball's leading scorer is either the transfer from Wisconsin, Connor Sejan, or the transfer from Rutgers, Gavin Griffiths. Strick, he also says, tell me why I'm wrong.
Read that again. Let me make sure I'm hearing that correctly.
He is predicting that the leading scorer for Nebraska men's basketball will either be Connor Sejan or Gavin Griffiths. Right or wrong, and why?
I think maybe he's looking at it from the perspective of Casey's absence. Who's the most capable of filling that void? I personally think if it's going to be a Sejan, it's because he'll will it. He's kind of got a little dog in him a little bit. But I personally think it'll be Bryce. Just another season coming back, knowing Casey's gone, knowing, there's a void for a leader in that position. And I'm trying to think how hard it was. I mean, I remember when I was coming back, the year before, I believe it was Jerron. I think maybe my last year, maybe I squeaked, but we were both like kind of right around the same place. It just kind of worked out. I think I maybe posted a little bit more. He was a little bit more perimeter dominated. I was a little bit more open court, mid-rangey. But I think with Bryce, knowing the void is there, I think Bryce is capable if he's willing to do the work and really focuses on the things that he didn't do last year, could have done better, and really get in there and put in the time to hone some of those things that I think he was missing.
Bryce last year, the second leading scorer for Nebraska basketball behind Keisei Tominaga. Sejan doesn't have the same skill set, not the same handle as Keisei, maybe not as crafty. Keisei was let's not miss this. Keisei was elite moving off the ball.
No
with
question.
Back cuts, moving around screens, navigating, creating space. Sejan's a good shooter. He can have shots off of movement. He's not Keisei in that way. He's not going to have the ball in his hands enough. He's going to be a play finisher. He's not going to be an initiator.
Bryce has more repertoire.
Much more.
Yeah.
And I think Bryce is going to get easier looks because he's not handling as much.
Yeah.
There's not going to be as much on his mind. I mean, 44% overall for Bryce Williams last year, 38.8% from three and 84% from the free throw line. It wouldn't shock me if we see Bryce Williams become a 40% three-point shooter because he'll get more spot-up opportunities off the ball. He'll get easier looks that he won't have to create for himself.
Yep.
I think Bryce Williams is going to be in that 17, 18 points per game range, another couple per game. So then the question to me is, who gets the majority of, the next reps? Is it a Sejan? Is it Griffiths as really more spot-up or floor spacing shooters? Is it Andrew Morgan as kind of the post-up threat with some pick and pop in his game? Does Mia get 4 or 5 lobs per game to average 8 to 10 points?
He's going to average
is it
10 points.
Working into a role
with this style. Yeah. Once I observe the style, I'll be able to tell you if Mia's consistently will hit W figures. I tell you what he needs to hit. He needs to be a double-double guy at that 10 to 12 with 10 rebounds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And 2 blocks.
Yeah.
Minimum a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like he needs to be a double-double guy for the Huskers.
Yeah, and I think the rebounds will be there, right? I think Nebraska can maybe get away with, not boxing out like it did last year just because Mia's so long, because Morgan's pretty long, because Bryce can go and get it a little bit. Not to say Jawan absolutely can and will go get it. Not to say that Nebraska, should not box out, right? You still have to do that. But I think Nebraska's a little longer across the board, maybe a little bit more athletic. But the question to me becomes, Strick, who is that second guy for Nebraska's offense? I think teams are going to have Bryce Williams on the scouting report now. Janowski has to come in ready to go. Sejan's got to add to the bag. one of the point guards might have to step up a little bit. I mean, Worcester has averaged 8, 5, and 5 for his career.
Those are good numbers.
That's solid across the board. Can he get to 10, 5, and 5, 11, 5, and 5 with an improved 3-point shot? I don't know, but I think there has to be one other guard step up. Juwan has to get more consistent. Does Juwan get double figures this year? I don't know.
The only way they get there is if they take on the spirit of 96, and that's run. I mean, there's no basket, there's no rebound, there's nothing eliminates the run. And this will allow you to expand your depth. Because if you're not, come over here and have a seat with me, young fella. If you're not all out, balls to the wall, pause, getting it done on defense, I'm talking about hawk hound. If you come out that stands, come over here and have a seat. And this is how you weed out, you know, the ones that don't want to be there or the ones that are there for the wrong reasons. If you're coming in here doing anything other than those things because you want to create more possessions, you want your defense to be lively in takeaways and in converting. And what I saw, remember we were at the game and I'm like, why are you? Yeah, it was like a 5-on-4 situation.
Yeah. And
they waited for him. And I'm like, what are you guys? You are not a freaking half-court offense juggernaut. No. Go get easy opportunities, right? So this is why I'm saying that's gonna give you an opportunity for Juwan, Griffiths, Assesian, spot ups on field backs, Burukdengel. Golly, Burukdengel. It's gonna give him some Dirk Nowitzki flow back type. And you want to take those good shots because you're depending on the other side. You're going to defend, rebound, and run. But we're not going to just take crazy shots. We're not going to come down there, go between the legs, hesitation, and pull up with a guy in my face. That's dumb. But I can hesitate, go by you, get help, whoop, to the corner. Oh, no, you're open, but you're not because there's a guy flying down on recovery defense. And no, we're not taking that one either, my boy. It's open, but it's going to be a challenge. I'm going to shot fake you. I'm into the paint. I'm looking around. Oh, there's another guy coming. Bow. Now all the defense, what is defenses taught to do?
Protect the paint.
Protect the paint. So defense come to the paint, fan out. By that time, the guy's flowed down. Now he's got the open shot. And those are the ones you want to take. That's the type of running I'm talking about. Run for opportunities, not run to just get shots.
Right. Put legitimate pressure on the rim. Make the defense rotate. If you stand still and wait, the defense doesn't have to rotate. It's not how it works.
There's no one on that team that has breakdowns, and that's including Bryce.
Right.
Bryce can use size, body, but he's not. There's nobody on that team. I don't know. Let me take a look at Euless. But there's no one really on that team that has breakdown capabilities to create anything for anyone. And that's been their struggle. So they're going to need to be sound, setting screens, taking early opportunities, running for opportunity. Do that, and you'll be in a good set, and then you'll score 70, 80 points, and you'll get all the possessions, and everybody will get all the touches, and you'll be able to expand your depth, and you can keep people happy. Everybody's not going to be happy because people are going to want 15, 20 minutes when they may be getting 13, but it's going to depend on the night. It's not your night. This is where the communication from Fred is going to be important.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of breakdown blow by from Euless at Iowa. Maybe part of that was the system. We haven't seen it consistently. Worcester didn't have that, more of the some Griesel kind of dribble, but I think maybe an under the radar sneaky way Nebraska can create some more of those opportunities is if Euless and Worcester shoot 35% from three. If Bryce is a 40% shooter If a Sejan is shooting, 37, 38, 39%, shoot, even if Jawan's up to 35, 36, and guys are flying at you because they know you're going to knock it down, then you don't know, or they don't know your feet aren't perfectly set. You didn't catch it right where you want it. They just see that you're open behind the 3-point line. That's when you get a shot fake, and then you create the advantage.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just you get by a step or two, and then you kick out, and then the ball goes around the horn, and you're good.
Let me ask a question. We were both there. No, we weren't there. You was in Oregon. But me and Nick were. No, me and
Snaky Jakey.
Snaky Jakey. Shaky Jakey was there. But one of the things that we saw, and I know you can speak on this, did Fred look at what happened to Texas A&M? And did he go out and try to get size, rim protection, because those guys were to the Baja at will? And we didn't have the foot speed. there was any had a foot speed to stay in front of those guys. Do we this year? Is it going to be length, off, more challenge? Feed the funnel to the big man. How do you think it's going to play out? Because I think that had a lot to do with it, what they saw at Texas A&M. And because they didn't see anything in the Big Ten like they saw at Texas A&M.
No.
Not even Michigan State.
No.
That was probably the closest thing you could say to it.
I would say Rutgers. They
maybe.
didn't have a Wade Taylor, but with all the offensive rebounds, with the way they would be athletic, I think it's the mix of Michigan State and Rutgers potentially.
Yeah.
I don't think Nebraska addressed the athleticism problem.
That's a fact.
I don't think Nebraska is all of a sudden going to be, the most athletic team in the Big Ten. Mia is athletic for a big man. He'll get up, he'll rim run. Bryce is maybe sneaky under the radar athletic. Juwan has a little bit, but they didn't get a guard that's athletic like Wade Taylor. Griffiths isn't an explosive wing like Terrence Shannon Jr. was. They didn't get an answer there.
The closest thing to that was Eli.
Closest thing to that was Eli Rice. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what Nebraska has to do then is double down on being good at what it wants to be good at, right? If you get in a game against a team like Texas A&M, you have to shoot 35% from three or better on high volume, right? You have to find ways to create those looks with, like you said, good screens, with shot fakes, and find a way to create an advantage. Nebraska played Texas A&M's game, right? It looked that way because Nebraska wasn't hitting shots. A&M used its advantages and then shot well. Nebraska didn't use its advantages and didn't shoot well. That's why the game looked the way it did. So no, Nebraska very well could struggle with another team that looks like Michigan State, Texas A&M, Rutgers again. The hope is that Fred Hoiberg knows what he's doing in getting length, right? So it makes it easier to recover. Maybe has his guys close out maybe one step short instead of, that extra step like they would normally contest. Because if you're not going to be quick, you have to rely on length to give yourself that extra step in recovery.
Yeah.
Nebraska didn't address the issue directly, but I think I can see how down the line, if they get better at the margins, what the thought process is.
Do you think their recruitment in the portal and the offseason was strategic by the styles that are now coming, i.e. UCLA, USC, Oregon, Washington, and the familiarity with having a big man who has seen it, been there, but also the exodus of big men in the Big Ten? Did that have anything to possibly do with it? And then going back and getting into the same zone with what you found a dime in Rink Mast. And, it seemed like they took a little bit of pieces and they were trying to get, for me, it seemed like they tried to get height, length to take care of some of the issues that they had, especially at the rebounding and size-wise, matchups, stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly about that point. Nebraska definitely got taller and longer.
Yeah.
Did they do it to match the style? I don't know, because I don't know if I can point to a discernible style outside of anyone but Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon's got length and athleticism. Should have beat Creighton in the tournament, found a way to poop that one away. But I couldn't tell you
They got tired, bro. They didn't have depth. Those guys were they played like they played like they were 3 games because overtime they had to go into.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway.
One of the key parts of that team was N'Faly Dante, who did not get an extra year of eligibility. So he's done. He's not coming to the Big Ten.
He was a beast,
he was a problem.
Major.
So that'll change things for Dana and Creighton.
Facts.
Don't forget your boy, Musselman, is out at USC now.
Oh, I get to see Musselman.
You get to see Muss. Yeah.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna walk up to him and say, "Hey, you remember me?" Stick my check. You remember me?
But you do
You
now.
remember what I did to you? Pause. Okay.
But I don't know exactly what Musselman's style was
Yeah.
at Arkansas outside to get talent, which you would think would be easier
a lot
at
of
Cal.
athleticism, talent,
Sure.
and he had linked too with, but guys really weren't overly skilled. They were just super athletic, like run, jump, defend. Even a lot of his threes and fours have always been like that to me.
Yeah.
Some guards though, he gets guards.
Anthony Black was the 6'9" point guard that beat Kansas a couple of years ago. So I'm curious to see what USC becomes. Washington has just been wandering in the basketball desert really since Nate Robinson left. It's been a while since Washington's been good.
Or your boy, Markelle Fultz.
Since Fultz, yeah, essentially. But even then, they weren't like that good with him. No. He was a really good player, but Washington itself wasn't that good. The one that I think will dictate more is UCLA. But just because I think Mick Cronin it's between Mick and Dana right now for the best coach in that group. I give a slight lean to Cronin. I know Dana's been doing it longer, but I couldn't tell you exactly what UCLA's style is. I think UCLA's in a bit of a transitional period now. I mean, with Will Kyle III going out there, love to see how he gets used.
I'm looking for a watch out. Him and me are going to the heavens. Because listen, young Will, he goes up, 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 and away.
Infinity and beyond.
Whew, young fella. Then Bellevue West. I thought Striggy was going up and doing something until I saw young fella go up and shoot.
He's also got 7 inches on.
He
So
does.
don't feel too bad about that.
His wingspan. You see, you guys can't really see in here in the studio right now, but I'm sitting like in the middle of the huge desk. You can't see it because we got all kinds of stuff. He would normally be able to hit the camera. Will Kyle Jr. could reach like Plastic Man to the wall, to the window, to the wall. he got a long wingspan, man.
Yeah,
he's like Wembanyama. Wembanyama looks like a freaking alien, bro.
Because he is.
You see his hands?
Yeah,
his hands like covers the whole ball. Mm-hmm. I don't even know how he shoots.
It's hard. It has to be hard.
It has to be hard.
It's like the rest of us shooting like a Nerf ball.
Yeah. It's like I don't know how he does it because it's got to be like the old Nerf ball in your hand.
Yeah.
Like you can't really shoot it. You kind of just got to flick it.
You kind of got to like hold it just in your fingers. Like you can't put your palm on it.
Oh my god,
which would be so weird.
Yeah, that's
but UCLA is interesting because I don't know what UCLA's program is post Jaime Jaquez. I think Mick Cronin had a transition year without Jaquez. Bona wasn't as good without him. Tiger Campbell not being there. We'll see.
He's going to have I think he's going to have a good pro career. He looked actually pretty good.
So.
I think it's actually a good fit for him in Miami too.
Oh, I agree.
I think it's a great fit.
I agree.
Yeah.
Good stuff there. We meant to talk Husker football running backs. It's okay that we didn't get to that. Royals walk it off. 4-3 winners over the Yankees. Only went 1-3, but hey, you know what? What can you do? Michael Garcia, the hero. We will take a break. We'll bring DP in. We'll cross it over. Maybe talk some running backs. We'll see what comes up. But one segment left to go here during On the Block.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. Navigating the legal system can be stressful, overwhelming, and full of uncertainty. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. When you're in need of legal assistance, trust Liberty Law Group to fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Bagels & Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in June. Try any of their delicious breakfast burritos or sandwiches for a great summer breakfast with the family. And don't forget, 10% of all caramel latte sales in June go to the Casa for Lincoln County. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Tito's on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Bagels & Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in June. Try any of their delicious breakfast burritos or sandwiches for a great summer breakfast with the family. And don't forget, 10% of all caramel latte sales in June go to the Casa for Lincoln County. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
The Testicle Festival, Saturday, June 15th at Round the Bend Steakhouse off I-80, exit 426. Swing out 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. for some testicle fun. Free admission for military personnel.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Hammond Jewelry, here to drop some knowledge bombs on how to wow your woman. Size matters, but not the way you're thinking, guys. Make sure you know her ring size before you even think about popping the question. If you aren't a surprise kind of guy, ask her. I bet she knows her size. If you are a surprise kind of guy, bring in a piece and we can get close to the right size. We will make it perfect for her when the time is right. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Hammond Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados, plus Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville, $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Keep summer green with Judson Baleen and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you or someone you love struggling with substance use? The Bridge Behavioral Health in Lincoln offers outpatient therapy for those 19 and over. The Bridge is conveniently located in the South Haymarket and near city bus lines. With payment options through insurance and a sliding fee scale, services are available for any adult 19 and over seeking help. Call 402-477-3951 to learn more or schedule your appointment today. The Bridge Behavioral Health is a local substance use treatment facility offering hope and a solid foundation for recovery through substance use treatment and behavioral health interventions.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back one final time here during On the Block. Normally it's a crossover. Stricky, who has to be sitting to your left? Who is it?
Uncle Kevin Myers, cork and bottle. Yeah, he in the building.
What's up, Stricky? What's up, Austin?
Oh, you know.
I thought you was gonna try to sneak out on us this week, my boy.
No, I'm good. I'm here for a little bit.
You got a nice tan working. I see you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Kevin, who's to your left?
My little nephew Nicky.
Hey, Uncle Kev.
I got Nicky to my left and Stricky to my right. We could make up a little ditty about that.
Nicky, shaky.
No.
Dang.
No.
Dang.
This is a weird spot. Not used to be sitting in over here in the corner.
You don't like no room to operate.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know which way to turn. Yeah,
I know. I like it though because you can see everyone and everything.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about anybody being behind you.
Yeah.
Like you do with Stricky's spot.
I know.
You got to worry about people.
There's
just
a lot
looking up.
there's a lot of people making faces and all types of bunny ears and stuff behind my back. It's not right. It's not right in here, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys, you ever get any butt cheeks on the window yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Back on post game last season for Huskers after a night game, Jay and I got one.
No.
A male pair of butt cheeks.
Oh, they
Full moon was out that night.
Full moon was out that night.
No Diddy.
We don't want to be giving people any ideas, so I'm just kidding about that. That was,
you did it.
Tell
Uncle Kev sent you. It is Uncle Kev's fault.
Yep, tell him Uncle Kev sent you.
It'd be one of Raph's roadies. I guarantee it.
Oh man,
Raph roadies would do it.
They would do Uncle on one butt cheek and Kev on the right. Yes. Tattooed. News of the day, Stricky. We mentioned this guy's name last segment, Terrence Shannon Jr.
Yeah,
found not guilty in Kansas on both charges. So he went down for the trial. That's been going the last couple of days. He officially not guilty.
Well, that's a weight off of your
huge weight,
bones, no doubt. And so it pretty much solidifies things for him, with draft status. So that's good. For him.
His teammate Coleman Hawkins also in the news. He withdrew from the NBA draft, hasn't found a landing spot yet. Sounds like he's going to go down to Kansas State and be a Wildcat, which is interesting. Seems like a little bit of a fall from grace from one of the Big Ten's best players, first team, all Big Ten type of guy. But that's the risk, right? If you're not going to stay in the draft, so many places have already filled out most of their classes. So even if Coleman Hawkins is a talented player, I don't think he put himself in the best position because he was in the transfer portal so late.
Nick, what are they selling down at Kansas State that just what's going on? Is this some ayahuasca down there?
The little apple, man. The little apple.
Gosh.
They took Coleman Hawkins down to Aggieville, and they said this is going to be your new home. I mean, here's the thing. It is a cool campus. Like I don't mind the Kansas State campus. I've meandered around it quite a bit.
Fine.
I was at a Kansas State Oklahoma football game when Jalen Hurts and CeeDee Lamb played for Oklahoma, and Kansas State knocked off number 5 Oklahoma that day. I think though that Austin's got it perfectly correct. I think of the spots available for Coleman Hawkins to go, that of teams that were actually interested in him at this point of the offseason, is Kansas State's, I think, as good as you could have, right? Because don't forget, Jerome Tang comes 2 years ago, coming off of a pretty deep NCAA tournament run. I think there's a lot of people that think Jerome, like they're high on Jerome Tang.
And what was the player that was there that
forget
was supposed to go here?
Keontae Johnson.
Yeah.
Keontae Johnson.
Similar style of player,
Don't forget, I think Kansas State would have been a much better team if they were able to keep Nigel Pack at the start of the NIL era, right? Like, people forget that Nigel Pack started his career at Kansas State, was an outstanding freshman for the Wildcats, and then John Ruiz down in Miami said, okay, come on over. We're going to give you a couple hundred G's. So I think Jerome Tang certainly lost a couple from to the portal. They're going to be without Arthur Kaluma, who left Kansas State, withdrew his name from the NBA draft, and the former Creighton Blue Jay still looking for a landing spot there. But great pickup for Kansas State, Austin. I mean, great pickup for Kansas State.
No doubt.
Especially at this spot in the offseason, because you made a really good point. I'm going to be interested to see going forward in the years to come when guys are maybe choosing NIL opportunities over NBA draft opportunities, because I think that's a real thing.
Yes.
That is on the horizon. Do we see guys not even enter their name into the NBA draft because they're going to rely on agents and they're going to rely on maybe private workouts with other entities to say, yeah, you're either good enough to go high enough or you're not good enough to go high enough and you need to go NIL, because we see it with Coleman Hawkins. He probably could have landed at a much better spot in a surefire NCAA tournament type of team. But here he is landing at Kansas State because it's so late in the process.
Not a bad spot, like you said, but they could have been better. And this is a guy that I think will get significant NIL because he might have would have been a second round pick. I think he would have gotten taken. But it's also a guy that I think has some questions to answer. Will he hold up defensively? Illinois was wretched at defending the rim, and he played the 5 a lot of last season. He's athletic enough to do it. But if he's just an offensive-minded power forward, I don't know if he's good enough, consistent enough from long range to fill that out. Let's get out of here. Let's get on to Thirsty Thursday. Uncle Kev, what are we drinking today?
I've got a couple of surprises. I've got a beverage from Finland.
Hello.
And a new Winery of the Month red that we'll talk about here at the after the break.
The finish.
It is the finish of this show.
That's right.
But the beginning.
I'm wondering what that's going to taste like. I'm taking it his naive to the house.
There you go. Thirsty Thursday leads off Old School. Big thanks to Nebco for their sponsorship of On the Block. Don't go anywhere. We're back on the airwaves, still on stream with Old School. Starting off with Thirsty Thursday next.
We even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation